How's it going out there, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new movie review for you. So let's get right into this review and see what I saw. So about 2 weeks ago, I had the chance of checking out an awesome new movie that was absolutely amazing. Just awesome. Was one of the best true stories films I've seen in a long time. This film is so crazy, but at the same time, it's 100% true, and was a really amazing, historical, coming of, for, the time frame that this is supposed to be happening. And this is just a really great film, so well directed, and just a really amazing film. Now, this film happens to be the awesome new Spike film by Spike Lee, Mr. Spike Lee, people. The great Spike Lee. And that film happens to be BlackKklansman. Now, BlackKklansman, if you haven't seen, like I said, is based on a true story. It's an amazing true story, and it's got to be one of the best historical, accurate, based off the book, true to the pages type of film, and I thought they did a really amazing job with it. Now, like I said, this movie is directed none other by the awesome Mr. Spike Lee. Now, Spike Lee has directed a slew of films over the years, from Malcolm X to 25th Hour to, tons of different films that were big hits and just, considered great achievements of film. Now, a couple films I really enjoyed that he directed were none other than an awesome film that came out a few years back that's also based on a true story back in World War II. And that is the film Miracle at St. Anna. Now, this awesome film is just amazing, historically accurate World War II film about this group of African-American men that were sent into the specific country and specific town in the country to rescue one particular family during World War II, and they were kind of very similar to in Glory, the very first African American platoon. Basically, it was kind of similar to that. That it was just these sole men that went in and tried to do this, and it was just a really amazing film. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it, and just did an amazing job. This movie is just really intense, and I thought Spike Lee did an amazing job directing it. The action sequences, the drama, the writing, all was so on point, and just was an amazing story, and just a really well-made, action, World War II action flick / drama, and Spike just did an amazing job with it, and just made an incredibly, intense film. Now, another film I really liked by Spike Lee that he directed was an awesome Denzel Washington film. And it had a great cast. It had Clive Owens in it, Jodie Foster, huge cast. And that, of course, is the awesome film The Inside Man. Now, if you're not familiar with Inside Man, basically it's like a thriller-type film that all takes place in a giant building. If I remember correctly, it's a bank. I don't remember 100% because it's been a while since I've seen it, but I do remember that it has to do with hostage negotiation and all kinds of good stuff. Denzel Washington plays a negotiator. It just was a really awesome thriller, and had a lot of great action sequences in it, and just great writing, and just was really well done, and it was just made superbly by Spike Lee. And he has that, action eye. He has that drama eye. He just knows what to do, and he makes such great films, and these two films are no exception. Now, when it comes to BlackKklansman, once again, he brought the A game, people. He made a great film. I was really impressed with this. I wasn't too sure how I was going to feel about it, how I was going to like it, if it was going to be as good as the critics said, and I was blown away by it. I thought everyone's performance in the film was really superb. I thought that Spike Lee did an amazing job directing it. He had a great eye for it. He was very good at keeping, from A to B, the actual story from the book of the real gentleman, Mr. Ron Stallworth, and just how it was translated from the book to the screen, and it was so superb. Amazing and so well done, and just a really amazing film. If you haven't seen this yet, definitely check it out, people. this is an Oscar contender, just an amazing all-around, really good film. It also has a really good comedy element to the film too, with, like I said, with a great cast as well. Now, this film has an all-star cast. I mean, we have, Michael Buscemi in it, who is Stanley, the awesome brother of one of the greatest comedians of Steve Buscemi. We also have, bit parts by certain people and stuff like that are just really amazing, and just an all-around really amazing cast. Now, to start off this awesome cast, we have none other than Denzel Washington's son, who has, had a few acting roles, over the years, and really has started and got into acting recently, and has, like, a big slew of films coming out over the next couple of years. And that, of course, is Mr. John David Washington. Now, John David Washington plays Ron Stallworth in the film, and I think he's absolutely amazing in it. He played the character of the T, and his accent was so on point and just amazing. I really enjoyed it and thought it was really well done and really seemed like that was his real voice. Now, a couple films that he's been in, I haven't had the pleasure of seeing either of these films, but I do know that they're considered two really, amazing films. One happens to be an Oscar contender. The other one's a film that's coming out soon, and supposedly is Mr. Robert Redford's last acting film, that he says he's retiring from acting. But the first film happens to be another Spike Lee directed film that he actually starred in. He had a cameo in back in the 90s, and that, of course, is the film Malcolm X. Now, like I said, this movie I haven't seen, but I do know majority about the film is about the character Malcolm X, who was a big African-American, civil rights talker, kind of similar to Martin Luther King. He was just an amazing individual that led an interesting life, and basically the film is about his life story and what he went through. And John David Washington has a brief cameo in it, along with his father, who plays Malcolm X in the film. And from my understanding, his role was really good. Even that little cameo was really well done, and very, very, ahead of his time. Basically we were seeing what his BlackKklansman acting would be. Now, the other film that, like I said, is a Robert Redford-led film that hasn't come out yet, that's coming out soon. I haven't had a chance to see it, but I have seen the trailer, and it looks pretty interesting. And that is a film called The Old Man and the Gun. And from my understanding, John David Washington's character in this and portrayal in it is really decent and really good too as well. From the trailer, what I saw, he looked like he was going to have a really substantial and awesome role in the film, and that it was going to be interesting to see him in another type of film that was different than BlackKklansman, and just how he, how in depth his acting abilities are. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him in that too as well, because he was just so superb in BlackKklansman. And when it comes to his job in BlackKklansman, I felt that I was watching Ron Stallworth from, in the late 70s. That he really was this cop, this undercover cop that, infiltrated what he did of the Ku Klux Klan, and basically his story. I felt like I was really there watching what happened back in the 70s. And I thought that, John did a really amazing job and did a superb performance, and should be definitely nominated for a Best Actor Oscar, because he just was so amazing. And even the, comedic element that he did in the film was perfect and awesome too as well. Really well done. It was nice seeing him. This was my first time seeing him acting, and I just thought he was a superb actor, just like his father. Definitely, I could see him becoming like his father and an Oscar contender a lot. Looking forward to seeing more of his stuff. Now, another awesome actor that's in this film that I think is an amazing actor. I think he's great at comedy. I think he's great at drama. I just think he's a fun character to watch, an actor. And that, of course, is Mr. Adam Driver. Now, Adam Driver, we all know as Kylo Ren from the Star Wars films. We also recognize him from a slew of films recently, like Logan Lucky and so forth. But a couple films I really enjoyed him in, of course, is the awesome and amazing sequel to the new trilogy of Star Wars films, Star Wars The Last Jedi, where he plays Kylo Ren and is just buff as heck and just kicks butt in this film. I absolutely loved where he's taking Kylo Ren and just how amazing he is at playing this character. I like how, like, conflicted he is with himself, and he's not sure where to go with himself, but at the same time he has kind of like this loyalty to one side, but at the same time he feels kind of guilty and feels that Jedi side, and I just think he portrays that and makes it so amazing, and just, you know, makes Kylo Ren such an amazing new adversary, and very closely to the awesome, you know, Darth Vader too at the same time. Just really awesome, really well done, and I thought he was so superb in that film. Another great film that he was in that I think he was fantastic in, it wasn't the hugest part, but it still was a pretty, you know, assisted type of, you know, job that he did in the film, where he would be considered, like, if it was considered an Oscar tender, he definitely was a supporting actor. And that, of course, was the Daniel Radcliffe film, What If? And I absolutely loved his character in the film. I loved the friend he plays to Daniel Radcliffe, and just the character he portrays and how silly and funny he is in the film. And I just love his attitude through the whole film, and just some of his one-liners are absolutely freaking hilarious. Very similar to that the other movie that he was in with Jason Bateman and Jane Fonda. This Is Where We Leave You. It's very similar to that. It's like a dramedy, and his comedy, you know, comedic talent along with a little bit of drama was so perfect in that film, and just he was really awesome in this rom-com and so hilarious. Absolutely enjoyed his character and thought he was so fantastic. Can't wait for him to do more roles because he's just so awesome. And just so amazing. But when it comes to in BlackKklansman, I really enjoyed his character in the film. I liked his portrayal of the other undercover cop that was used as the white Ron Stallworth for the infiltration of the Ku Klux Klan. And even though there's not too much information on the real guy, I still think Adam Driver did a really good job of giving us an idea of what that guy went through, what that guy did. And I thought he just played that character to the T, and was really good at portraying kind of that accent a little bit of, you know, John David Washington in the film that he's supposed to sound like when he's on the phone, and just did a really amazing job. Really enjoyed him in this, and looking forward to more of his roles. Another awesome actor that's in this film that I think is just a superb actor. I always enjoy him in his roles that I've seen him in, and just think he's a really well-rounded kind of character actor. And that, of course, is Mr. Robert John Burke. Now, a lot of people might recognize him as the third film RoboCop, taking over for Peter Weller, which was considered a flop of a film. But he's also been in a slew of other films over the years, great character actors and so forth. But a couple films I really enjoyed him in and thought he was fantastic in, and just did a really good job, was none other than an awesome 1993 film based on a true story. We're not 100% sure, you know, how accurate this story is, but still based on true life characters that, you know, this supposed encounter took place. And that, of course, is the film Tombstone. Now, Tombstone, if you're not familiar with that, is where Wyatt Earp and his brothers and Doc Holliday had a showdown with a other gang when they were trying to clean up the streets down in Texas. And this film is just a really intense, awesome Western, really well done, really fun. Kurt Russell was amazing as Wyatt Earp, and Val Kilmer gave a great performance as Doc Holliday. And it just was a really well done film, and I loved Robert John Burke in it. I thought his, you know, character in the film was really fun and interesting. I thought he did a really good job and gave us a great, you know, Western feel and vibe, and his performance was really well done in that film. Another great film that Robert John Burke was in is an awesome film from 2002 that stars the awesome Robert De Niro and Dakota Fanning. And this awesome thriller film slash kind of horror film, Robert John Burke's character I absolutely loved in it. And that, of course, is the film Hide and Seek. Now, in this film, Robert John Burke plays a detective, and his character is kind of investigating what happened with Robert De Niro's family, his daughter, and like what happened to the wife and so forth. And he just played the detective really well, and he plays usually cop characters very well. And he's got that demeanor to him that he's been a cop, he's been in the military, etc., etc. And he just plays the character so well into the T. And I absolutely loved his character in the film, and I thought he brought a great presence to the film and was a great addition to the film. Just really well done and great performance by him. But it comes in BlackKklansman. I absolutely loved his captain character in the film. I thought he was super funny. I liked how he treated everyone and how he reacted to things. And I do like how he portrayed the actual police captain that was, supposed to be Ron Stallworth's and Adam Driver's character's boss. And I just thought he did a really good job of portraying that and giving us a inside look into what maybe that captain had to deal with and what he was presented with and why he went the way he did. Really great performance altogether, and Robert John Burke did a really great job. Really enjoyed him, and looking forward to more films for him too. So to round out this awesome cast, we have none other than an alumni from That 70s Show that is just a funny comedian. I think he's best at comedy kind of roles, but he does have a decent evil side to him, and he plays some kind of evil good roles. And that, of course, is Mr. Topher Grace. Now, Topher Grace, who you all might recognize, like I said, from That 70s Show, and a slew of other films over the years. A Good Company, you might recognize him from Take Me Home Tonight, and so forth. But a couple films I really enjoyed him and thought he was fantastic in was an awesome rom-com that came out in 2004, and I think it's just an absolutely hilarious film with Josh Duhamel and Sean Hayes and the awesome Nathan Lane. And that, of course, is the awesome film Win a Date with Tad Hamilton. Now, this awesome film, if you're not too familiar with it, basically what happens in the film is that the character that Topher Grace is in love with, she's actually infatuated with this movie star that she enters a contest to win a date with. She ends up winning the date with him and going on the date with him. And so pretty much the rest of the movie is Topher Grace's character trying to figure out how to tell her he loves her and that he wants to be with her, even though she's kind of in love and infatuated with him. It's just a really fun, awesome rom-com, super hilarious. Love everyone involved. Gary Cole is in it, plays the main girl's father. Just all around super hilarious film. Always crack up so hardcore, and I thought Topher was really awesome in it. I really enjoyed him in it and thought he was just really fun and enjoyable to watch in that. Another awesome film that he was in, and also considered a sequel to an awesome 1987 Arnold Schwarzenegger film. And that, of course, is the 2010 film Predators. Now, in Predators, Topher plays an evil guy, and I absolutely thought he was fantastic as this, dick type of character. He was so evil at the same time, but sinister, but you didn't see it because he kind of has that, good boy look on the outside, but in real side, inside, he's really the wheels are turning and stuff like that. He just played that character so well into the T. It was so good in that film, and you had no idea where he was going, what his character was going to do, and I thought he did a really amazing job in that film. And all in all, Predators wasn't too bad of a film. I thought, everyone else in it, Adrian Brody, I thought, Rodriguez did a really good job of directing that film and giving us another approach to the Predators. And I thought that, Topher's performance, all in all, was just a fantastic performance and made that film very exciting and enjoyable. When it comes to his character in BlackKklansman, him playing the head hierarchy of the of the Ku Klux Klan at the time, I thought he did a fantastic job of portraying that guy. I thought that his arrogance and his ideology was perfect and portrayed that character so well. And I just thought he did a great performance, and I really enjoyed him giving me kind of a look of what that character was like back in the 70s. Even though, in present day we've seen him, and do his ideologies and stuff like that still. And just, he did such a great job of portraying him and giving us an idea of what he was like and what happened and how he was kind of bamboozled by this cop back in the 70s. I thought it was really awesome, and I thought Topher did a really amazing job playing that guy. And it was just a great success all around, and really enjoyed him in it. So if you're not familiar with what BlackKklansman is about, basically it's the true story of the very first African-American undercover cop in Colorado that gets the head assignment on infiltrating the Ku Klux Klan in Colorado back in the 1970s. And basically it's his story about what they went through over a 9-month period of, infiltrating it, him pretending to be one person on the other side, having a white, Caucasian man portraying him in person with the Ku Klux Klan, and just them trying to get dirt and trying to bring them down. And that's what pretty much the whole movie's about. It was so superb and amazing. Highly recommend it. Definitely check it out, people. It's worth a watch. A great film, so well directed by Spike Lee. Everyone that was involved played the characters to the T and amazingly. I really enjoyed it. It makes me want to read the book by Ron Stallworth and to see, how closely it is, because I've heard that it really is. And it's an all-around really amazing film. Something definitely I'm looking forward to adding to the collection. If I had a Spike Lee section, that one would be first in line because it's just so sticking good. And it was an amazing film. Really enjoyed it. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up on it. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it, people. Worth the watch. Just all around amazing film. Looking forward to seeing it again eventually. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. And also, thank you for subscribing. And if it's your first time here, if you've been here before and you haven't hit that subscribe button, come on, people. Hit that subscribe button so to miss this awesome video or any of the awesome videos I put up. And as always, keep your eyes out for any older, newer videos you might not have seen yet. And as always, check out the awesome Stardust app, people, where you can watch 3 to 30-second little mini reviews of movies, trailers, TV shows, anything you can think of. And also, this awesome app is always updating, adding awesome polls, contests, and so forth. So that's something that interests you. Go to your respective Android service or iOS service, download the app, look me up under Cyberneticshark, follow me, and then I'll follow you back. And as always, people, catch you in the next one.